Hello guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that couple of clips, and this video is going to show you how you could, perform like that in Last Stand. I mean, I'm not a good PvP player. I'm not the worst, but I'm not good. And I'm able to absolutely wreck with this build with the MP5 ST as my primary. I do encourage you to find an ST yourself because you can put the scope on it. Which really helps if you can hit headshots. If you can't, then maybe MP5N will do just fine, but if you can't hit headshots, then ST will help you out a lot. And as you see here, I'm actually using a 3-3 set. I don't usually go for 3 and 3s. I usually go for the 4 and 2 high ends, but I thought this when I came on after getting home. I put on this set, threw it together really, it just randomly came into my brain that I should try this out, and I'm glad I did. It's really good. I'm obviously using Predator's Mark. That is so I can get the 10% reload speed, which is handy. Not as handy as the 8% SMG damage though. And obviously I am using Hunter's Faith, which is gives you 20% optimal range and 10% headshot damage. Optimal range is the main one here. This is really good to have on your SMG, and you could even get it higher if you used slightly different mods on your SMG. You can boost up your optimal range even more. But personally, I have just went for a full DPS gun. It does have self-reserved on it, which I'd love to get brutal in place of that, because this build would work even better, and I'm definitely looking forward to getting an MP5 with even better perks than this one. Now let's get on to what I have on my build and how to build this build. Let's start off with the chest piece. For my mods, I have 2 electronics mods, and I have 1 in skill power and 1 in health. The reason I went 1 with skill power is actually ideally I'd put 2 into skill power, is because you need skill power now. It's not something that you don't need to spec into to have a decent heal, to have a decent pulse. It's something that you need to at least put, in my opinion, 2 mods. And even if possible, I'd have 1 piece electronics and 2 mods to have a really good heal. But I've just opted to go for just the 2 mods in this particular build, and ideally I would like to get another electronics mod with skill power, so I can have a pulse that's a lot better, and obviously a little bit more of a decent heal. Another thing that I'm just going to mention now is these are my sheet stats outside of Last Stand. In Last Stand, both my DPS and my toughness shoot up to 400k. That's what you see in the thumbnail. That's the numbers you see in the thumbnail. That wasn't just clickbait. That's my Last Stand numbers, and you will see that yourselves if you have a build similar to mine. The reason the stats are so low right here is because I don't have good rolls on my main stats on any of my pieces, except from a couple of pieces really. The reason for this is I didn't feel the need to try and roll for, say, better firearms on my backpack or something like that, because in Last Stand they all get boosted up anyway, so I thought it would be more valuable to get health on my backpack than to go for a higher firearms roll or something like that. That's the reason I went for major stats over primary stats, if you get what I mean. Hopefully you do. And on my chest piece I have rolled to stamina with health, enemy armor damage and ammo capacity. For my backpack I've got rolled to firearms, rolled to health, and rolled with ammo capacity. Ammo capacity is just a personal preference. You can drop this off and go for a resistance if you like, but personally I like having a lot of ammo because I've got a bit of a spray and pray playstyle. And For my mask, I have crit hit chance. You're definitely going to want crit hit chance because you're using an SMG. I don't know why you would use anything else except from crit hit chance. And it is also rolled to stamina, and that's a perfect example there. That's a really bad roll in stamina, but I opted to reroll crit hit chance instead because I know in last stand all my stats get bumped up, and my armor also gets bumped up. That's why I haven't really fussed with how low some of the rolls is that I have on this set, because I use it in last stand, and in last stand it doesn't matter the amount of the roll, it just matters what rolls you have. My mask does have disorient resistance, which I'd like to switch out for burn or something along that lines, because disorient really doesn't come into play. And also, I think I actually forgot to do this about my backpack as well, so I'll go back and do that. I'm using a firearms mod with health on my mask, and on my backpack I have the firearms mod with health, a self heal mod, and a crit hit chance pulse mod. Pulse mod is obviously just to give me a little bit more DPS, and I don't have another self heal mod, so that's where that's went. Now my gloves, I've got SMG damage, crit hit chance, and health on kill. Health on kill I'd rather that be crit hit damage, but health on kill's kind of useful, especially right now, because you're really crappy heals, you need the health from other sources. And I've also got that rolled to firearms. For my knee pads, I have a health roll, roll to stamina, and it has 3 crap minor attributes. Yeah, again, I'd rather these be, say, shock, burn, and something else, resist, because none of that minor attributes come into play in PvP, and that's where I'm using this set. So yeah. And finally, for my holster, I've got a pretty decent holster actually, and it's rolled with reload speed. Just roll whatever you personally would like on your holster. If you have one of the new holsters, unfortunately I don't, this is a legacy piece. If you have one of the new ones that can roll crit hit chance, go for that, because you're using an SMG, why wouldn't you? Apologies for that, that probably just deafened you, or maybe I'll cut that out if I'm not lazy, but let's face it, I am. Next, let's go to the abilities. You have a scrambler for your pulse. This is so you don't get damaged more by people that are using pulse, and you also get hidden from pulses, and you don't appear on people's maps, you know, highlight them in red kind of thing. Really handy in last stand, means you can get the jump on people a lot easier, and it's also handy for when you're trying to take their home position, because they'll have their pulse beacon on their spawn, and obviously if you have your scrambler up, you're not going to show up when their pulse beacon's trying to highlight you, so you'll be able to be a lot more sneaky and take less damage in their spawn area. And for my heal, I'm using booster shot. Some people would say go for this, that way you're healing about a bar. With booster shot you're only healing about half a bar, but the extra damage resistance and the extra damage, I believe, is one of the most valuable skills you could ever use for these kind of builds, where you have high toughness, high damage, because high toughness and high damage multiplied by a percentage boost that you get from booster shot is obviously going to be really good, and that's definitely what I advise you guys run as well. For my signature, this is just a personal preference. I like to use tactical link because I find myself in situations where it's 1v3, 1v2, that kind of stuff, and that means I can just pop my sig if it's up and melt through people. I believe you would have seen that in action in one of the clips at the start. If I do decide to put it in, you just tear through people with this, especially with the MP5 ST. It's godly. Last but not least, I've got the talents. These aren't as important as you may think, but they're all handy in their own ways. on the move, kill somebody that is downed to dead. Dead, not downed. That's something that you got to keep in mind. If you down somebody with this, it's not going to come into effect until you actually kill them. If you land the killing shot, if they force kill, it doesn't proc, but if you shoot and kill them, it does. So always shoot them until they're dead, not just downed, even in 1v2s, because that 50% increased that 50% less damage is really handy when you're, say, firing at the next guy. For my next talent, I'm using precision. This is just for the off chance that my pulse is down, I'll still be able to do extra damage to them after I headshot them. You may want to go for one is none instead of that. Do it if you want. It's all down to personal preference. And the last two talents I'm using is combat medic, obviously because I want to heal the people around me in the last stand. There's always people around you, so healing your teammates is a good thing to do, and I'd advise everyone to run this in last stand because it would be so much better for your teammates. Yeah, that's why. Critical save, this obviously helps you in the off chance that you manage to pop a med kit before you die. It gives you a chance to shoot the guy and kill him. Before you go, just leave this video a like if you enjoyed it, give it a share, that would be really cool. And if you want to keep up to date with stuff and get a couple, I don't know, of posts from me, every so often, I do have a Facebook page, so just click down in the description and I'll add it in there. And aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.